So here we go, Ed. This is this week's. So we had a drier week that was predicted at
Yeah,
in the last set you were showing us. Yes.
yeah, and slightly lower than average temperatures, but we're shifting towards warmer than normal by the end of the month. And we also want to make sure that we see that we're making the corn and soybeans, the cash crops, are getting into their reproductive phases. And a lot of the people are saying that it's generally good to excellent condition for these two crops. Okay.
All right, let's look at this one.
Okay, now the accumulated precipitation in terms of comparing it with the current normals, and this is from the 17th, which is a week ago, until this past Sunday. It shows that most of the precipitation was up in the northwestern part of the state. But then they also have a few areas that were bullseyes across the southern counties. And it's interesting because this was taken as of last Sunday morning, but then all of a sudden we had, and for those people who live in the Madison area, there have been a fair amount of rain that started during the afternoon and continued on into the evening. I know that taking a look at, well, my wife has a little rain gauge out, a decorative rain gauge, and she had 3 inches of rain. And I checked the radar estimates from the Atmospheric and Oceanic Sciences Department, and our area just south of in Fitchburg, which is just south of Madison, had over 3 inches of rain. Now the airport had very little, so it was very spotty. Okay, continuing on, it's been a fairly wet period for the last 2 months or so. Okay, that's for 30 days. And in terms of the percent of average, we have focusing over here on the left, actually on the right hand side, we have a area which is all the purples are up in excess of 150% of the normal for the 90 days. You have to
All
go.
right. I'm going to skip us forward to the predictions. Okay. Just going to get us a little clicking through.
And we have soil moisture. It's pretty good. Go on.
Yep. It just goes slow when it's in present mode. That's all. No drought. That's a good thing.
And it's gotten better. Okay, forget that one.
Mm-hmm. All right, looking forward. Oh, this was last week's temperatures. Sorry. Temperatures.
You just stop for a moment.
Yes, right here. Okay.
Okay, all right. All right. The departures from normal. That it's sort of as they say, a mixed bag of comparing the purple areas. I guess you say about 2 or 2.5 degrees below average. And the red areas or the orange areas here and along in Rock County and such, and up in Douglas County, those are above average. So it's very mixed. Okay.
All right, gonna skip the degree days and the crop progress because everyone can look at their own fields. And then we will get to the predictions going forward. So 7-day precip.
Okay. Well, they're going for it, and this is the forecast from a couple days ago through the 29th. of the month. And it looks like there'd be abundant rain across many areas. In some places, more than we want, but of course that also includes some of the rain that fell in the last 24 to 48 hours. Next. Looking at the 8 to 14 day, we're leaning towards above average. Well, actually, it's fairly likely that it'll be above average temperatures, and we're leaning towards above average or above normal precipitation for the 8 to 14 days. Next slide. Next slide.
Yep.
All right, the 30 day. Most of the U.S. is going to be above average in terms of the temperature. Is going to be warm for the month of August. At least that's what the Climate Prediction Center is indicating, and it's going to be dry. Well, actually, it's equal chances. And then you go out to 90 day. It's still above average conditions, temperature-wise, but equal, below, near, or above average precipitation, which means that there's no clear-cut signal here. All right, and now the final take-home points. Most of the state has experienced, they say, minimal drought, but there's been areas that have had more than an inch of rain from thunderstorms. It's been below average temperatures, but the temperatures have been relatively pleasant. Now the soil moisture conditions, while it's dropped off because of less precipitation, at least we haven't had that many places that have had surplus soil moisture. There's been increases in the percentage of the adequate. And of course, they say that there's no drought here in Wisconsin. And the corn, 40% of the corn has reached silking, and it's running ahead of the normal. There's 47% complete in terms of the blooming for soybeans. And it's sort of a lagging behind the state's the normal. And the wheat harvest, 31% complete in the state, and it's above the 5-year average. And the growing degree days, it's 1,800 growing degree days for the South and 1,200 units for the northern counties. And the outlooks, precipitation chances across Wisconsin for the next 7 days. And it's a higher likelihood in the early part of the week. That means now. And then the higher likelihood to stay warmer than normal for the end of July and much of August. And
we'll leave it there. So thank you very much, Ed.
Sure.
Thank you.